This is Grunty's Adventurer build, which is a tier 8 in the new French destroyer, which is, of course, going to be your... hey, thanks for tuning in, Wolfie. This is going to be the torpedo-focused destroyers. And now, Grunty, you were saying that you kind of struggled a bit with this particular ship, huh?
Yeah, no, this ship is, in my opinion, not very good. And here's the reason why. So this line wants to be the torpedo line, but the problem is the 5, the 6, and the 7 are actually not.
Okay.
They are much better as gunboats because the torpedoes aren't as strong yet. You actually only get the gimmick on the tier 7.
Okay.
And you just don't have the amount of torpedoes. Like on the 7, you have a center launcher and 2 double wings. So it's only 7 torpedoes.
Okay.
Which is not much.
Right.
The tier 9 gimmick and the tier 10, what's the gimmick? The gimmick is that they have torpedoes that deal a whole lot of damage, but only until a certain range. It's usually between 6 and 7 kilometers, depending on tier. And after then, the damage falls off, where at long range, it's comparable to the European torpedoes.
Okay.
So yeah, the tier 9 and the tier 10 are pretty good torpedo boats. And the 8 is just in a very, very awkward spot, right in the middle between them. Compared to the 7, you only get 1 extra torpedo per wing launcher. But you pay for that at the same time with having a longer torpedo reload. It has like 125-second reload on the torpedoes for what essentially is 3 triple launchers. That's over 40 seconds per torpedo per launcher, which is just horrible. So no matter how you spec the ship, it's going to be mediocre. If you spec it for full guns, it's still not a good gunboat. If you spec it for full torps, it's still not a good torp boat, simply because the torpedo reload is too long on it. So no matter what you do, you just feel inadequate for every situation.
Right, and the big jump to the tier 9, of course, is the ability to put that 6 slot in to help with the torpedo reload.
Right. And on the tier 9, the torpedo base reload is also a bit lower again.
125 versus...
120.
Well, they're both 125, but maybe it's the upgraded torpedoes you're talking about,
Oh, it's
right?
120 then on the orange. I think it's 120.
Yeah, 120 seconds. With the torpedo upgrade, it saves 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's...
Okay. Which adds up
really
in a game.
Not in a good spot in between.
Okay.
And you have the additional problem, like, if you want to get your commander through the line, like, what do you do with your commander? Do you start specing for guns, and then you have to retrain later? Do you spec it for torps right away, and then have a really mediocre build for the mid-tiers?
Right. So, in addition to that, it's a tier 8, so you're going to see tier 10s, a lot of tier 10s. So, you know, this in itself makes this part really painful, to where I might even say, you know, operations is a great way to grind it out. If you're really struggling to get good games or fun, enjoyable games in this ship at tier 8, maybe do that. I
considered it, but again, what do you do in the operations? You have no smoke. You can't open water gunboat in this ship. You get shut down by the bots that just hurt you really, really badly.
So what?
And with the torpedo reload, you're also not going to do much with the torpedoes in the operations.
Yeah. So my response is, so what? Like, you go into an operation with the idea, the mindset that I'm not going to live through the whole game, right?
Okay.
You go into it and say, okay, I'm going to live maybe 10 to 12 minutes, okay? And do whatever I can then, and then when I die, I just go next. I mean, you know, it's a different mindset to have.
It's not... You can't do that. It's a bad way to do it if you want to do it with, like, blue boosters and such.
Absolutely, I wouldn't.
Because you have to play so many more games. So if you want to reduce the amount of games, it's not a good strategy. But if that's not your concern, then yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, exactly. You did tier 8 to Cassard and Ops wasn't bad after getting used to the boat. And that's what I mean, like, and yes, Death Blossom, exactly. That's what I mean. It's like you can get used to the ship and really start kind of feeling the ebb and flow out. You don't... And that's why I like operations now that they've made it up to tier 10, is you don't have to grind this out in randoms or ranked anymore like you used to have to. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at...
Ship twice by now, like once on NA, once on EU.
Okay.
This is EU, by the way. I'm grinding the line there.
So let's take a look at the build you've got.
The other thing is mode shuffle.
Now you can do it
It's
in mode shuffle. Hmm.
terrible for tier 8s.
I didn't say it was the greatest, but like there are more things you can do in a mode shuffle than like if you're gonna say there's nothing to do in an app.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can always escort the balloon. Like there are other ways to get experience than just through damage.
Yep. All right. So there's main armaments mod 1, followed up with engine room protection, torpedo tubes mod 1, propulsion, and concealment, which makes sense. It's all about keeping the torpedoes alive. So, yeah. Okay. And
You can
then
definitely make an argument here if you want to spec it still for guns on the 8, and then take the
Okay.
aiming system.
yeah. Okay.
But I'm getting this commander up through all the line, so, and I'm planning only to have the Khazard on you, so the build
Hello
was
there.
basically dictated to be a torp boat already because I
Yeah.
didn't want to respec.
Right, that's the thing. If you don't want to respec, you spec for your tier 10, and then you just keep moving them up, and you're going to have to deal with it, essentially. So, all right. And then you've got the core build, preventive maintenance, last stand, survivability, concealment, adrenaline rush, and fill the tubes, because it's a torp boat. Okay, and then you've got 5 points left. Where are you going to put them?
So here comes the. I'm talking about where I put them for the Khazard right now,
Yes, of course.
because that's where I'm ending up. And for the Khazard, I would pick up the main battery specialist at tier 3 for a little bit better gun performance.
Okay.
And then I take the Swiftfish to increase the torpedoes speed a bit.
Okay.
If I were talking about the Aventurier or even the Orage, I would not do that.
Okay.
And I would instead take the Fearless Brawler and the Grease the Gears.
Okay. Okay.
And the reason is
Yeah.
just the it lacks one torpedo launcher on the tier 9 and tier 8. So the Khazad
Okay.
gets one extra, which makes the torpedoes even better. And I think on the 8 and 9, you would do better if you have a little bit more focus in the guns.
Okay.
Plus, also the increased turret traverse really helps, especially on the 8.
Okay. Fair enough. Now, if you're building an 8 specifically, it almost sounds like you would want to spec it more for just your kind of gunboat
I
idea.
probably would go full guns. So
Like
I drop the
this.
torpedo reload. No, I wouldn't take the range. The ballistics aren't great. I would take. Yeah, I would do this.
Yeah. Right. Okay, and then obviously up here you would change that to aiming systems in slot 3. So you
Yes.
could, if this is a dedicated captain for this boat, this might be the way to go.
This is what I'm doing on a tier 7 as well.
Okay.
I think that's.
Yeah. So, yes, that's true that this does help with torpedo traverse speed, but it comes down to what is most important to you. Do you want your guns to be more accurate? Okay, obviously you're planning on shooting your guns more frequently. Or do you want your torpedoes to survive? So if you get detected, Torpedo 2's Modification 1 also helps with torpedo speed, but the big thing with Torp Mod is it prevents your Torpedo 2s from being incapacitated. So it comes down to, if you're gunboating it, you go for aiming systems typically, and if you're torpedo boating it, you go for torpedo tubes. And this is what Grunty was saying at the beginning, was this ship really has an identity crisis. It doesn't know if it wants to be a gunboat or a torpedo boat because it kind of sucks at both. Right?
Harsh, but yeah.
It's harsh but true. Okay.
I wouldn't say suck at both, but it's like very mediocre at both. Like,
Yeah. Right. Flags wise, you've got anti-det, you've got fire and flood, fire chance, fire reduction, speed boost, and consumables. If you're gonna go all in like this, I might just pull a pudding and toss a ram flag in, just because you never know when you ram a sub or something like that. Yeah, whatever. Or you could also do anti-air. Note to self, don't make one.
Listed here. It doesn't have dual purpose guns. I
Right.
think. So,
Right. So it's kind of like, whatever. Alright, well, this is an arms race battle. There are carriers involved, but they're tier 8s. Congratulations, lots of tier 10s.
Ironically, arms race is probably the best case scenario for this ship. Because
Why is
with
that?
the buffs that reduce your reload, that
Oh.
compensates for the biggest flaw of the ship.
Also, you can get the heal, which also compensates a bit for the ship too. Because
Yep.
doesn't this also have that special French destroyer gimmick of taking less damage from saturation? Or, well, it saturates
Yes.
quicker.
Yes, they do. All
Yeah.
the French new destroyers have that.
Yeah. So in game modes like this where there's a heal available, that makes your ship even that much tankier. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, Electric. I have the tier 10 research too, but I don't really plan on using it much. The big gimmick
love the
again
tier
with
10.
these... Huh?
I love the tier 10. The tier 10 is amazing.
The big thing about these is it's more of a short range torpedo boat with the power that the torpedoes do. If you want that maximum damage, you have to look, and each one has a certain what do you call it, max damage and location. So
Yeah.
as it goes farther away, they still hit decently hard. It's just not as much. Quite frankly, this is a kind of mechanic I'd love to see on a Kleber, like forced on the Kleber line as a way to kind of, because it's such a strong gunboat and it's quite strong at torpedo ambushing as well. It might be nice to see a mechanic like that apply to the Kleber, or even like the way they do the sub torpedo, right, where it doesn't work up as, or it does barely any damage real close, and then as you go farther away, it does more damage. I don't know, something like that. That way, this destroyer has a niche, because if I was choosing between the tier 10 French destroyers, I'd probably go with Kleber. Just more comfortable with it.
I think the Khazar is the strongest torpedo you can have right now at tier 10.
I could see that.
The Kleber is obviously the gunboat.
Yes, but the Kleber has the option to torp rush things. So, I mean, that's where the difference
does.
is.
Oh, we didn't mention another gimmick of these ships. Like, they have the speed boost isn't as long as the regular French ones,
Yeah,
but it gets the 30% boost like a Smaland has.
right.
So-
Yep. So it's kind of like high burst speed instead of long duration.
You
So,
can get it up to 2 minutes if you use the speed boost mod.
yep.
and-
So I want to highlight this real quick. You see that line there? That's the distance at which you have maximum torpedo damage. After that, the torpedoes will still do damage, just not as much.
I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a stupid gimmick. The
I
only
think it's
reason
silly.
people accept that gimmick on subs, because people just hate submarines so much.
Mm-hmm.
I think the gimmick is fine. Like, you get the highest damage destroyer torpedoes as base.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you pay a little bit for that. And at long range, it's still, like, comparable to Halland torps, so it's not
Okay.
that bad. And it's not an instant drop off, like, it does nothing up then. Like, it's a linear decrease from the cutoff point to the end.
Now you're gonna go
So-
straight for the heal here because Auckland
yeah.
turned in.
I wanted to go for the heal right away, but the CV prevented me from going there because it spotted me. So I'm actually surprised that the Auckland didn't take it and then use the smoke to get out.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now, couldn't he also detect you by hydro, or is he too far away right now?
Engine boost activated.
it's
Hard to tell.
probably right at the cutoff range.
Yeah. Okay.
I figured like, he might detect me for a brief second, but I would be able to get away.
Mm-hmm.
So
And but that's why you went into that circle the way that you did. So, I'm just commenting on that for people watching. Like, you know, he didn't go straight into the middle of it like a lot of destroyer players do with capture points and stuff. He went on the edge, picked it up as he was turning. Oh, hello, Cowgirl.
yeah, that was a. I mean, I knew he was still out there because we saw the smoke earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes it even weirder that he decided to come in now. That
Yep.
good for me here.
Yeah, it was great for you.
Like, and the guns do hit reasonably hard. The problem is just like the reload isn't great.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what the damage is at max range. It might be on the sheet that I was looking at.
It's
But that
40% of the nominal value at max range.
Okay, so take max and multiply by 0.4. Thank you. That affects
So it's
armor
about
piercing
like
ammunition.
like at the tier 10, it's like 9,800 or so at max range. Just shy of 10.
Engine boost deactivated.
Sinboto, hey, how you doing, man? Long time no see, indeed. Tithe has to be paid. Well, thank you for tithing. Sinboto in the grand saga of our World of Warships, 29 months of subbing is the ultimate tithe. Ensuring the seas stay sponsored and the replays keep rolling. Your commitment is legendary and your humor is a treasure. Long live Lord and Lady of the High Seas.
Like, look how many ships I have behind me, and they still can't kill that old Auckland.
Yeah, well, you know, give him time. It's wild because my experience in Auckland was very much I died immediately. When people saw that, so.
Right? It's irritating, those Auckland clips, because I can't do that when I play the ship.
Yeah, Big O, that's exactly what happens to me all the time. That's what I was just commenting on. Alright, so now the question is, do you go back for the Lennon, or are you going to go and hit him from the front? I think I'd go to the right here and try to get him on the side
No.
and back.
You have to go in front of him, because
Okay.
if you go behind him, you end up in between the Auckland and the Lennon, and if the Auckland
see the
leaves the
Auckland.
smoke, you get smacked. So you have to come from the front.
Okay. If the Auckland wasn't there, though, then going from the back would be the better choice.
I'd still probably go from the front, and the reason is because if he sees me and accelerates forward again, I might not get the top angle.
Well, no, but you encourage him to die by other people. We're team players here, Grunty.
Did you say that with a straight face again?
We're team players here, Grunty.
Yeah. I put the I in team.
Yes, because you can't spell team without me.
Problem solved.
Oponyo, by the way, with a death strike, so I just got a 5% reload buff.
You didn't even tell me you're using up on you. Oh well.
You'd never ask if it was a special captain.
I figured it wasn't, because why would you put up on you on it? But that's right, you were going to put him in the tier 10, so okay, I get it. Auckland
Actually,
is
if you think
still-
about it, there is an I in team. If you spell it capital T-E-A-M, the I is in the A.
What?
The gaps in the A, the empty spaces, look like an I.
Oh, okay. Okay. Bring spotter planes with our buffaloes every time. There you go.
Engine boost deactivated.
Hey. Cringe.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
Another problem with this line with the torpedo layout is that it always wants to launch the middle torpedo first because it's the farthest to the front. So you have to manually switch your torpedoes.
Okay.
And you always want to launch the wing first because that leaves the flexibility.
Right, because then you can swing the other way like you're doing right now.
And still have both sets available, right?
Right. Okay. The Tier 7 cruiser and Pan Am cruiser are trash. I was never a big fan of the... I don't remember what it's called now. I call it the Admiral Baloney because it's a baloney ship.
I really wanted to get that here. So the CV
I
actually
see that.
being there surprised
Yep.
me. Like, I thought
Yep.
he would have left to the other side a long time ago.
Well, he's gonna die for it. The other thing too is like, Yeah, your team's not looking so good
Nope.
all of a sudden.
That's because everybody was clumped up. Like, look where our Republic is still going away from everybody. Full HP, obviously.
Of course, and your carrier's at the very bottom corner of the screen. It's the meme. And it's a beta, so he's literally launching into the map edge.
Actually, at this point, you want to be close to it because then you fly in the map edge and they turn around instantly.
Right,
So that's actually quicker.
right. Yep, you take a Fiji and remove all the good parts. Exactly. It was pretty frustrating to grind through myself. So.
I probably shouldn't be alive here. I'm lucky.
You are.
But
But there's that heal ticking up. Hey, Sturgy! I don't think Rob's here, so let me handle this. We'll get the shout out for Mr. Sturgy Poo. There you go. Sturgy, a fellow stack up supporter. Does World of Tanks, World of Warships. As you can see in this clip, that's World of Tanks. Damn right.
Engine boost deactivated.
Okay, so there you go with your... No, that was your front turret. That was your front one this time. So that was your center. There's the wing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like sometimes I forget it. Like despite playing them so much,
It's hard to remember.
It's also sometimes if you don't really have the angle, you press the button, and it doesn't switch.
Okay, okay, that's fun. Oh, rip your Montana. Oh, kill the marker. How do you switch tubes? Same way we do with guns, the C key for camera.
Yeah. But the only way to actually see if you have switched it, you have to look at the cone from which launcher it's actually coming out. That's the only way to reliably tell it.
Yep, I like how you got a torpid there. So now you're literally just sitting and spinning and praying. Yeah, if this Colbert finds you, you're dead. You're gonna shoot him, aren't you? Yep. And I guess you kind of have to.
I kind of have
Citadels.
to, right? And he's super broad. Yeah, I mean these guns are not bad.
Yeah.
It's just a reload that makes them so awkward to use.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that that works for torpedoes, Mr. Note, and that's part of the reason why you are here and everybody else. So glad we can help give you some new learnings. So what is it? Yamato and Colombo left. Okay, okay. You guys can do this despite your Cerberus and Repub both on the one line. And they're doing it they're doing it partially because you and the Harbin are still in the cap.
Like, I'm so glad I had this Harbin.
Mm-hmm.
So he's actually smoked up sitting in this cap. So I can stay outside and have a little bit more room to maneuver and get the torps off and not be stuck in the cap myself.
Mm-hmm. Alright, we lost that Stream Raiders, no problem, we'll get it up again. This is a loyalty token one, these are always extremely difficult. There we go. Oh, this Columbo. He wants you to kill him, doesn't he?
He was actually... Like, my problem here was that the Harbin actually died.
Yeah. I figured that
So-
was going to happen. I think you blew that way too
Yeah.
early.
But if I did.
But it does encourage him to go farther because he thinks that you blew your load. Okay, well, you're going to give him a 2.
It's
And you would hope
unfortunate,
the-
yeah, that one clipped the island.
You would hope the repub can finish that. But I like your swing around here just to make sure. But it will put you in his guns, possibly. Maybe for a split second? No. Oh, you managed to pull
Well,
that
I'm-
off.
Yeah, I'm actually really, really proud of this maneuver.
Yeah, you should be. Because you needed to kill him. Oh, good. The Yamato's healing again. Hey, no worries, Sergi.
Why
I'm
is
glad,
it tier 8 killing tier 10s?
For the XP, of course.
Why am I killing tier 10s? Because my tier 10s can't do it.
And yeah,
Duh.
also because he has to.
But Chad has always informed me that tier 8 is so underpowered and can't do anything in a tier 10 game.
But it's like even if you look at this, like how much work you have to put in this ship. Like in a torpedo reload booster Kagero, this would have been so much easier.
Yep. So,
Yeah, Tsushimoto just doesn't want to die for some reason.
Yeah, I don't
Yep.
know what this Yamato's. I think what he wanted to do is catch up some buffs here to catch up on points again.
maybe.
Or maybe he just really didn't want to die. I don't know.
He's doing a fine job of not dying so far.
Yeah, between the heals from arms raise and
The lack of
and his
competition.
irregular heals. I wanted this kill so bad for the Kraken too.
Yeah.
Shooter.
Oh, he's doing it. He almost got it. Oh, the Cerberus.
Yeah, I think
I'm
my
not playing
troops
with
would have
anybody. Look,
done-
Mount, no hands. We're doing replay analysis, Sturgy, so this is Grunty's game that we're looking at and giving some feedback. Dude, if you ever got replays that you want some feedback on, send them over to me. Look at that. First place. Suck on that, tier 10s.
Wow, you couldn't even break 3K?
So
You had boosters going, I'm sure.
that was blue boosters.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That saves you some grinding of the ship, right? Gets you
I'm
through it
done with
quicker.
it now. I
Yeah.
never have to slide again.
Right? That's what I mean. All right.
It just really doesn't feel good. It's
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and pull up your replay render. It's a nice game, but as Grunty said, he had to work really hard to make it happen. So what are we going to title this one?
I leave that up to you.
You just dabble in co-ops or random tries? Okay. Or when I random in my CVs, the tryhards get nasty. Yeah, whatever. Who cares about the tryhards? It's a game. Play it. Have fun. And if you want some feedback, send it on. And, you know, I do co-op games too, by the way. I do co-op. I've done, what, 3 operations today? I don't care. Worked hard for the sinkings. We need to truncate that down to, like, a 2 or 3 word phrase. How about arduous? Hey, it's the Himatra song. Let's go.
I think the Republic spent like literally half the time of the battle in H1.
It very much looks like it, doesn't it?
Like, I don't even blame the Pobeda for being here. Because, like, look how hard the enemy team pushes on the other side. He has to get away from it.
Yeah.
And it took us long to secure the left side, so pushing up there was quite risky as well.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, it's too late for him to push up. So, kind of stuck.
Gotcha. Yamato. Okay. Well, I don't know. Aside from Arduous, I can't think of anything else that could work. Real player, go for... Thanks, Gaelic. All right, well, I don't know. We'll think of something here, but thank you, Grunty, for sending.